tell people what this has been like for you and your family. First off, kind of on a personal level, then I have some questions for you. But has this just been absolutely insane?
Well, it is. The problem, honestly, Stephen, I'm so desensitized to it at this point. You know what I mean? Like, I'm so used to this. Not, it's basically Russia version, 29.0. They're going to get him this time. Merrick Garland, he's going to be incredibly transparent. No, well, we're not actually going to do that. We'll say that at the press conference. But when my father says, okay, release the affidavit.
Yeah.
Just like, back during the WikiLeaks hoax, I said, fine, here's my emails. Then they change their tune, right? They leak it to their select people to try to, you saw it yesterday with the passports, right? No, they didn't take the passports in this incredibly broad search warrant. Nora O'Donnell from, big mainstream media. No, of course they didn't. They're there. Well, they actually did. The difference between a conspiracy theory and the truth, I was saying, was about 6 months. Went to about 6 hours. Now it's about 6 seconds because it took us about 6 seconds to show the email that I'm sure she didn't bother to even ask if there was any truth to it. She heard what she wanted to hear. Yeah. She could weaponize that against Donald Trump. She puts up the tweet. Rather than take down the tweet, she leaves that one up because it goes viral and they say, well, there was maybe some timing here in another tweet that no one ever actually reads.
And by the way, who's she for people who aren't?
What's going on? Merrick Garland says he wants total transparency. We say, okay. They say, well, we can't actually have total transparency because that would give up our sources and uses. They needed the FBI's HRT, the hostage rescue team, Stephen, like the SEAL teams of the FBI, to serve this warrant from Donald Trump when they have literally in writing, like, hey, we're ready to cooperate. What do you need from us? He actually met with them. He discussed this with them. It's an intimidation tactic. It's like the Gestapo at this point. What's going on with these people is truly sick, and it's happening in America. The good thing is that, like, they can't hide from it anymore. Like, it's so over the top. It's so insane that real Americans that have been agnostic to politics, they're watching, and they're saying, oh my God, like this is actually going, If this was going on in a banana republic, the warmongers in big government would have been overthrowing these governments by now. But it's happening now. It's happening with our FBI, and it's getting harder and harder to defend. That's the problem I really have. Steve.
Absolutely.
Even on your show, I've always said, we make the distinction between the bureaucrats at the FBI, the lawyers that are functioning as part of the deep state, and the door kickers. But like, honestly, like, if no one steps up and speaks out, now we heard there's some whistleblowers maybe working with Jim Jordan. I'm sure they'll try to route them out. But if no one finally says something and says enough is enough, like it's going to get harder and harder to defend it. They're confiscating Donald Trump's passports, picture books. They're raiding his home with the HRT. Antifa, unchecked. Hillary can literally hammers to phones that are under subpoena, and it's like, there could be the perception of impropriety here, but like we're not going to look into that because it's problematic. You have Hunter Biden and the countless schemes. I mean, he's on video talking about, the Russian mob may have one of his laptops because all of our enemies have one of his laptops at this point.
Does your family know why they took his passports? Did they try and claim that President Trump, your dad, was a flight risk? Because that would seem to be the only.
I think they did whatever they want. It wasn't part of the warrant, but they got this warrant. They say, it was very specific. It was the most broad thing ever because they're not actually looking for anything, Stephen. They're looking to find something. It's not like they had, he has the nuclear codes and, honestly, maybe we'd be better off if Donald Trump still had the nuclear codes and the nuclear football, because at least our enemies would actually fear us rather than looking at the dolt that we have sitting in the White House that's only encouraging our enemies to act up. It's truly sickening.
Did they go through Melania's personal belongings?
I don't know. I wasn't there. Okay. I haven't been involved that way. I just, I see what's going on. I see the broad overreach. I see it's the, 29th iteration of, Russia. They see Donald Trump as a threat, not to democracy, but to their power as the deep state, because he's the one guy on the Republican side that has the balls to probably actually push back. It's all one big illusion. What they do, they go out there, they create a narrative. When that narrative fails, they leak to their selected sources, selective information to try to change the narrative. We saw that happen with, the nuclear secrets. Then we heard it with the passports. These days, they've done it so many times and have failed so badly at it that these days we come out and in about 6 seconds we're like, here, here's the email from them. Oh, that narrative doesn't work. But again, because they control the information, you see, the Nora O'Donnell false information about the passports. That tweet is still up. It went viral. It continues to go viral. The correction is done, as a subtweet that no one will ever see and no one's going to push. And they have done their duty to search for the news by having done that, even though they didn't delete the totally false, bullshit that's out there.
Watch Louder with Crowder live, Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern.